working?
Yeah.
Good morning. Call the meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Hampden Selectboard being held in the Townhouse Auditorium, April 1st, 2025, 10 a.m. This meeting is being conducted in person remotely using video conferencing technology. I believe Select Board Member Flynn is on.
Yes.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is anyone recording the meeting other than ourselves? Kristen or Sarah on?
No.
What?
No.
No. Okay. Seeing none, we'll continue. Fire department. Where are we? Fire department. Want to put that up?
Yeah.
We have numbers?
No, not till next Monday, it's supposed to go before the board. What I was informed yesterday.
Oh.
The only thing they sent along were the schematics.
They just done an update.
All right, well, let's look at the schematic. What do we got there?
Let's go.
So Peter, do you know what they're adding on there?
If you want to go back to the other screen, Brian,
The first one?
the first one you showed,
Yeah.
see the darker area is the present building now,
Yeah,
and obviously the lighter area would be the addition remodeling of the fire station. The next picture, yeah, sorry?
the shaded area, the shaded area, that kind of,
The lighter
The
shade.
darker
lighter
area
shade,
is the
yeah.
present building.
okay,
The lighter with the stripes, diagonal stripes is the addition, presented addition.
okay, so that's, so on the side, on the side of
Would be
the
the back.
Yeah,
Would be the west side, and the north side of the structure will be added onto. The next picture shows a breakdown of how it will be laid out upon completion. The E1, E2 is all that is a reference to the vehicles which could be in those bays.
yeah,
The south side or the bottom part of the picture would be office space. On the very left bottom would be training facilities, and then bathrooms, kitchens, and the far back side on the upper left would be storage facilities and whatnot. Did you have the picture of the upstairs or no?
Oh, let's see what Ed sent.
Yeah, well, that's basically would be a living quarters if it gets to that point in time. Obviously, it didn't work in the second, exit, and there's stairs up and down, but that has to be worked in for a second exit for emergency purposes.
All right.
But
Fire pole.
So is it
Yeah.
just unfinished space during this one, or?
well, it would be, okay, so you put rooms in there, but you don't fill them, right? But, it would all be constructed as one at this time, but it may not be divided up into rooms. But any facilities in the state is sleeping in has to be sprinklered now, so all that would be updated as well. So you have storing fire trucks, they burn up, today's electronic world, everything fails, so. You got a front view, you got a front view, that's a nice picture of the front. There you go, there's the front view, looking at it from North Road.
So the extreme, if I can, Peter, the extreme right-hand side is the original, and
No, the extreme left-hand side is original. See the
Oh.
small little windows and the two doors?
so you're going to the north,
Correct.
and you've got enough space?
Yeah, they say there's enough space. Well, the driveway's on the right of way there. So we can't approach that without,
It's okay. If you got enough space, you're good to go,
yeah.
or something.
Well, the middle garage door,
Yeah,
that's part of, is the existing building now, but will be taken out, and the height of that building increased because one of the fire trucks, you can't tip the cab inside the building to do any repairs or working on it,
yeah.
because the roof's not high enough. So they had to do that, so,
They're not gonna get any smaller.
no, unfortunately, the old antique 37 fits in there like you put a Volkswagen in there, there's all kinds of room left over, but today's fire equipment is so much bigger.
And there's still a second floor, right?
Well, just over the middle
Yeah.
door was your second floor.
Yeah.
It's not the entire facility that
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a second floor.
Is that a south elevation below it there, next one down? Yeah, okay,
Yeah, that would be well, looking at it from the town hall up.
yeah, it's not too bad.
And that's the rear.
That's the back, no one's gonna see anyway.
Highway department's view,
Yeah, well, we look at their cement salt shed,
yeah, seems fair.
so overall, the building look, sorry, go ahead.
Those are just man doors there.
Yes,
I signed on late. If anybody has any questions, I can answer, for the fire station as well.
You have a dollar figure?
Not yet. We met Saturday morning. We made some more changes. The second floor, it's still there, but we're not using it. We're using for like mechanical space, because everything's so tight. We've changed a few walls. Some of these man doors, you're looking out the back, it seems excessive. We're gonna take a few of those out, some windows out. So we're still making adjustments, trying to get that price a little bit lower. We don't believe we need brick on all 4 sides of the building, so some of that's being changed. But we hope to hear back from them this week. We're having another meeting Thursday afternoon is going to be scheduled. And then we're planning on going in front of the board April 7th with the number.
Chief, did the architect give you a thumbs up number, if you will, of what you're looking at right now without your changes?
They did, but we weren't in agreement with some of the numbers seemed to be duplicate and stuff. So again, there were several things on those breakdowns that he gave us that we had questions about and for, I'm just not comfortable sharing that until we figure out exactly what they had.
Okay, so he did give you a number, but like you said, there's a lot of inconsistencies in his figures.
Yeah, and we just want to double check things. I don't want to throw a number out there and then have it like, oh, you said this or somebody said that. I when we present a number, I want to make sure it's correct.
That's fine, yeah.
Brian,
Thank
do you have the elevation looking down North Road? Or,
That'd be,
Looking down.
what's that next slide?
with the front view,
That was up-
looking at that, Brian?
North.
Driveway?
side,
North,
That was up there,
Yeah,
the top one?
that's the blank one there,
That's that one.
yeah,
that
there.
one. Yeah,
that's from the driveway.
So, just to clarify, I know Gary knows this. The elevation there goes uphill radically, and when you're coming out that far, there's a hill there. It's gonna need to be retained, or it's gonna need to have some foundation work or drainage there. I don't think that should be left out of any pricing, because that's definitely a part of the project. Everything is flat on that piece of paper, but that's not, it's not exactly true, right?
yeah.
So you noticed it, Gary.
I will, yeah, and
Eddie wants to say something.
the
Yeah, I'll
driveway,
just interject there. That's one thing the building committee picked up right away as well. So that's not accurate drawing. That's just something they did, and that's one of the things we went back to them about. They totally missed that, and obviously we don't need any windows on that side. We don't need brick on that side. And did they, is this figuring in for that building into the embankment there? So that's something we're well aware of and we're working on as
There
well.
might even need to be some retention along the driveway edge as well.
Yeah,
just
put
to
in a
feed
tank
into
or a
that.
sprinkler system as there is, you can use that.
have it open
Yeah,
can I ask, when they come back.
You're not planning on having a drive around at this point?
Correct. So that driveway that's shown on the picture would not exist there.
Okay. Because that right-of-way is fairly close, I would guess, to the work that you're proposing to do.
Yeah, the driveway would probably have to move slightly over. The town owns the property. It's a right of way through that property, and the town owns all the way over past that driveway. So I'm sure during building or something's going to have to happen to that. Yeah.
Is that part of your civil to design that driveway?
Again, we're, talking to the architect about it. These are just drawings at this point. This is not blueprints or not, this is just some kind of idea with the drawings to get an estimate of cost wise, but we're trying to make sure that their estimator knows like, hey, this is gonna have to be addressed. We don't agree with the way it's drawn on the picture, so trying to get some things accurate as best as possible.
What's Dan drawing in there?
Chief, do you think
Parking where the flag is right now.
go to the the Maytown meeting?
We're hoping to, yep, we'll definitely. We just gave the email, we met Saturday morning, we just presented an email, first thing Monday when he received it. And we're just waiting on his feedback.
All right, well, there's some other pictures, there's another.
Yeah.
I asked that because we're running out of time here, There you go.
Yeah.
That's the first floor aerial view.
Right,
Yeah.
take the roof off.
Yeah, so if you see the blue walls, it's pretty much what is existing now, what would be the existing part of the station of the fire department, the way it lies now.
Where's the decon area?
In the back,
Yeah, it's in the back,
right area.
yeah, next room's over, the showers and bathrooms in there.
Okay.
Is there a separate entranceway to that, or doesn't?
Through,
Right to the, I saw through one of the bays.
through the apparatus bay, if you go through the hallway there, on the far right,
Okay.
that
Yeah,
goes
dude.
on.
There was some discussion about that, if that's the exact layout, but we feel as far as square footage, it meets everything we need in there. If we have to change a wall or doorway afterwards, again, these are just schematics. These are not the blueprint we're building off of.
I'm okay, I just wanted to know if the decon you can come.
Let me ask you, if, in the decon area, where does the water go? You spray down the uniforms or whatever you do, where does that go?
Well, we're not handling hazmat, okay, so that would be a different, we call it hazmat tech in for that. So anything we wash is anything that's gonna be normal that would go down to the septic. It's not, carcinogen, smoke, wood, carbon, it's not, any hazmat stuff is taken out of service if we're exposed to it or something.
You take it out of service at the site, is that what you do?
Yeah,
at the site of the fire?
Again, that would be some kind of catastrophe if it happened, right?
Yeah.
So we're obviously calling in the professionals, hazmat task force to handle that. So
Okay.
they're going to be handling that as well. That would be part of their scope as well.
What else you got there?
The second.
Oh, that's the second floor?
Roof.
All right. Oh, look is that gonna be the color it's gonna be?
If you okay, just
Enough
you can prove your color.
Need a committee for that.
That'll probably hold it up a year.
That's a whole separate other committee.
Okay,
See what Connie says.
there you go.
Could we go back to the site plan, the first one? So,
Back, Brian, or Gary?
no, that's Tom. So it appears that at this point, you're staying pretty much, everything's gonna be to the north, if you will.
North.
And not moving, I'm thinking of the parking area coming this way towards Town Hall. What's the sense of, from the architect? Is he gonna be looking for more paving area on that
Well, there'll be
south side?
slightly more paving area. There's gonna be a tank in the ground as well for the sprinkler system that the building has to have. So,
Yeah, that's not really shown on the project, but I believe we're gonna be going through the parking lot, probably to the rear of the building. That is where the entrance is to the gear room and then to the apparatus room. it prevents personnel from entering like we do now. We enter the bays and that truck is like right there leaving the station. So we're trying to make it safe where everybody's entering from the rear. You go in, you get your gear on, and then out to apparatus floor bay, and then get on to the trucks from there.
The parking in the back.
A little box with the arrow, and that would be your walkway into the building, the rear.
Yeah.
You get your gear on, then you go to the truck, so you're not traveling in front of the vehicles as they're going out the door with your gear on.
Makes sense.
Much safer.
Makes sense.
Is there any more questions? I actually gotta sign off. I got a little emergency going on here. so-
One quick question, Chief. The new bay, right, that's gonna have to be fitted for the exhaust system too, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay,
That whole building.
So, I mean, we'll be taking out the bay in the back where
Yeah.
our tanker is now facing town hall. We'll be able to probably use some of that. But yeah, there'll be an extra bay or two that we would have to add to that, but the system's large enough and the trucks are available.
okay. And how's the generator going?
It's wired up. I think we're getting some fuel put in it tomorrow. And then we have to schedule with Kingsley to come out and do the startup.
Then it will be done.
Well, hallelujah. All right, have a good day, thank you.
right,
And we
thank
look
you.
forward to Monday night.
All right, thanks, bye.
Who brought up the sprinkler system?
The architect did, saying, because if you're sleeping in the quarters, it has to be sprinkled. If people are sleeping in it.
That sounds so cut and dry, but I don't really think that's the way the code is.
Oh, this is what I'm told, so I can't do any more than relay that.
Right, but I'd rather have you relay actual, straightforward information than.
Right.
Because there is,
Not to be a problem child, why are we worried about about sleeping quarters when we've never talked about anything other than a first shift?
Well, for now, the first shift, but eventually it's gonna be full-time.
Maybe.
Well, wouldn't it be better now to save the money and build now than it would be and plan for the future?
I don't know.
wouldn't it be better to put a door in the back with a staircase coming out while you're building it? I think that's just an option that you should have. I mean, then there's two exits. You're a firehouse, you could enhance the alarm system.
Right.
But the
There's strategies with regards to that.
sprinklers weren't going in unless it was converted to sleeping, he said.
Right, well,
Correct, but I'm just
Okay.
saying, does it actually trigger the actual
I
need
wouldn't,
to
I
have
wouldn't,
that?
I wouldn't think so.
Or is it
but-
just something that an architect says, well, if you're sleeping there, you gotta have a sprinkler, without looking into the alternatives? Because the chief has leeway with regards to or the water source.
Yeah.
And also, there's other options you can have with regards to enhancing the alarm system, et cetera. So I'm not gonna say one way or another that you need to have it, or that you don't have to have it. But in my eyes, if you're even planning on sleeping there in the future, don't do like other departments I know have, put the door on the thing and put the staircase out.
right, but there's other thoughts too, is one insurance company would probably give us a break because it is sprinkled. And at the price of fire trucks today, they're all going for $500,000 and up.
I don't know what the insurance rate on a firehouse is.
But, they save $500,000 or more in a fire truck, but wouldn't that be cheaper in the long run?
I'm not arguing, I'm
I know, I'm
just
just pointing out
focusing
other
on,
things
wouldn't it
too.
be cheaper to put a door and a stairway in that thing while you're building it than to knock it out later
I've
on?
dealt with
If that's what your
multiple
plan is,
buildings.
sounds like it is.
I think there needs to be a little bit more discussion. We'll see what happens when the architect
It
comes back.
seems like it's an option, that's
Yeah.
all. But we're already burying a tank in the driveway, and I'm like, would we do that if we didn't need to?
Right, so.
And to Dick's point, are we gonna have a full-time fire department anytime in the near future?
Do we need a tank though? Do we even need a tank?
Well, the water system, you can't fill the trucks from the water system in town, so.
What about off of the old wells? I thought the
That's-
old wells were left in place to
That
fill the
one
truck.
that one is presently still usable within the building.
So it could be used as a cistern to.
Could be used, yes.
Fill the trucks.
Fill the truck, period, but the
Tank.
tanker takes 45 to an hour to fill it.
Right.
200 gallons of water, so.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility there, sure. I think we need to look.
Talk about that one,
Yeah, we can discuss it more, absolutely.
the senior center.
You're up.
We're up.
We're up.
We've done some due diligence. We've talked to roofers and gotten estimates to replace the roof, coming in around 110,000. Quite frankly, I boosted it a little bit because I'm not sure by the time we get out to bid that we aren't going to have a little bit of additional costs. But the prices that we asked for were for, as I said before, July, August, September, so they'll be relatively current with all the turmoil going on with tariffs and what have you, and I just boosted it a little. We did also have a look at the window replacements. We have 53 windows in that building that need replacing, and that we're not touching, so the stained glass windows, those are going to remain as they are. And they're going to just replace the existing double hungs and static windows there.
Is that all of them?
That's all of them, yes, yeah.
Now, are they leaking? Is there?
Oh, yes, yeah. In fact, those cozies you put at the base of your door when you got drafts, they're on some of the windows now in the wintertime.
That's a good
Some
price.
don't work.
And some don't work.
Yeah, so there's,
Don't like that they can't open or?
can't open,
Can't lift 'em.
can't close them. Yeah.
Gary, did you price those out already, the window replacement?
What I did is I asked Julian Drapo's company to come in and take a look. He gave us vinyl with Harvey windows with the light dividers in them, basically replacing what's there, but with energy efficient glass.
I'm just seeing that a lot of the windows that are coming in, the replacement companies, they're like $2,000 to $3,000 for just a regular double hung.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
So if you have
that's
50 of
ridiculous.
them, I'm just like,
they're,
you know, I don't want you to get surprised when the Julian actually comes in and goes, hey, guess what? Everything's tripled.
Right,
It's a huge-
and again, I
huge
can't
market.
say that isn't going to happen if vinyl
Agreed.
explodes or something like that, but he, as I say, he understood it was, things weren't going to happen until late summer at best.
Oh, no, and he's reputable.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what's going on.
Yeah,
that averages out to be about 1,400, 1,500 a
on the
window.
window.
Again, I just know, like, I keep seeing these Anderson
Anderson
is a
Anderson,
extreme.
Yeah,
But
For a double hung, those are 3,000. I don't know what we just paid to have the
Anderson
windows.
gave me $20,000 for 6 windows. But, he's gonna be there for a few hours putting 6 windows in.
Yeah.
He'll have a whole crew out there putting all those windows in at one time, and that's where he saves his money, is in the labor savings.
It's a flat rate, but
That's cheap.
I defer.
Bathroom upgrades include raising toilets. The dividers need to be replaced. They're rusty, rotted, and are fairly expensive. And we're also looking at painting the bathrooms and upgrading it, and rough numbers around 15,000. And then the septic system maintenance, that number is probably a little bit high. We have a vent that needs replacing, an effluent filter that needs to go in, and at least 2 manhole covers that would not be covered under the parking lot paving that would have to be raised. And so if we can get the contractor who's doing the parking lot to also do the ones in the grass, that number won't be that high. So we have a meeting on next Monday, the committee does, and we're going to, look at the numbers, make sure it's where we're at, but I think that's the number we're gonna come back to town meeting with.
And you'll have a warrant article for that?
Yes. Yeah. Unless Dick offered to write a check the last time I was here.
I remember that.
Wasn't that from the stabilization account?
Yeah, right.
Did your pen just run out of ink?
Would that have to go exclusion, or would we do something else with it?
I don't see getting an exclusion for that amount of money.
All right, that's an update. Gordon Burgess?
Nothing new. We'll go down the list here. So technology, so the current situation there is that every classroom's wired. There are 10 switches in what I guess we would call the IT closet, or whatever we want to call it. They're about 10 years old. We're looking to replace those. We submitted a community compact IT grant, I believe it was last month. for the amount of $148,000 to replace those switches and to install new wireless access points throughout the building. Some of those have been taken out by the district. Hopefully, we'll hear about that grant before town meeting, I hope. If not, or if that grant doesn't come through, I guess we'd have to assess the viability of those switches. Obviously, they're 10 years old, they're getting to the point where they're gonna need to be replaced.
Does upgrading those give you reliability and speed? What does upgrading the switches do?
I think it's more about reliability.
That's what I figured, I just figured.
Yeah, so for whatever past historical reasons, when MBI built the middle mile and connected community anchor institutions, TWB was not one of those anchor institutions that was connected. I reached out to Local Links, who's, I guess, the new Axia provider, or who manages the middle mile and MBI, and they gave us a cost of, I don't even remember what it was, 15,000, 10,000. We could, they could, quote unquote, extend the plant from, I believe the closest is on Allen Street, up Wilbraham Road to TWB. But at this point, Charter currently has a fiber connection into the building, so we likely go with Charter. We're still trying to figure out the logistics we have a couple state computers, state systems that the town clerk uses. From what we can tell, they can use any internet connection, but they need a 90-day notice to be able to transfer whatever they need to over to the new location.
You considered asking Spectrum to put the wireless routers in there for you, since they have the cable going in there and they got a ton of money, and they might use that as some sort of a charity fund for you or something, but,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, if you have cable, you have Spectrum in your house, they'll put a wireless router in there for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll reach
So
out.
that's, I mean, they just got crates of them in
Is
their
the wireless
warehouse.
in there, not just the modem?
They'll put them both in there.
Really?
Okay.
No harm in asking.
If you have Spectrum now and you want an upgrade, you just call them up, it's like peanuts to do that.
And then
I
you
wouldn't put one of theirs in there, but
So they'll give you the wireless router that sends the signal throughout your house, not just the modem coming from the cable. Like, they'll give you the wireless device that sends the signal throughout your house?
I don't know if they charge you for it or not, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
I mean, it
You
might,
can buy your wireless
No.
device separate?
No.
I did, but I didn't, at that time Spectrum wasn't really offering them. I mean, that was 22 years. But they'll do it today.
Other IT aspects, so the library currently uses CW Mars as their library network, so to speak, or their library services, but that's provided over, that can also be provided through Charter. What else am I missing? Every classroom, every room really has 2, 3, 4 data ports, depending on the room. We believe those are all connected, but we'll have to go back through with a low voltage tester or something to make sure that all those are.
For any desktop units could use
Yeah.
those.
Yep. But in terms of wiring, it's pretty much wired through with, I think it was Cat 5 cable. So hopefully that grant comes through and we can make those improvements. Moving costs for the library, Ellen met with National Library Relocation Services, I think is their name. And she received a quote of $21,000 to move the books and shelving for the library.
Well, I wouldn't do it for that.
So just to sum up moving costs,
It was cheaper than the 50 that was originally said.
so the library their estimate's 21,000. Moving company for everything else, really, we'd like to budget 50,000, moving supplies 3,500. And then, for our IT company to disconnect, transport and reset up servers, the computers, the workstations, everything like that, they gave us a quote of 6,500, so that's a total of just over $80,000
To move everything.
to move everything.
Did you ask that library company if they would move everything?
We did not,
Since their price was considerably cheaper than the 50,000.
yeah.
That's a good idea too.
Yep, I can reach out to them.
Well, at least we have a budget number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had a couple of different moving companies come in and price it, right?
Yeah, we had 3 quotes, Pioneer, A to Z, and 4 guys. Pioneer was the lowest, so they also gave us, they gave us a price with packing, without packing, right? With staff packing, it saved probably around $10,000. So that's what we think what it would cost. Move, in terms of repairs, I'm still putting together a list of what I would consider priority sort of before occupancy repairs that we would need to, not necessarily repairs, but improvements. Right now I have flooring repairs. There's 2 classrooms where the tiles are coming up due to a moisture problem. They're in the front portion of the building. If you went in the main entrance to the right, the first 2 classrooms there in a portion of the hallway.
Oh, that was your office. We don't really need to fix that.
Just to tear them up. There's some masonry repairs that really need to be done. One of them is on I'm not good with directions there, but if you're facing the building in the front parking lot, it's on the left-hand side. For some reason, they put a utility anchor into the brick veneer. So that is pulling out that, you don't need to listen to this. It's pulling out the whole chunk of the brick veneer that's gonna need to be addressed. And then there's also one other masonry issue around one of the windows underneath that really needs to be addressed. Obviously, we talked about the IT upgrades, and then there's some miscellaneous electrical, miscellaneous plumbing things that need to be done. But the other big thing would be the access control and cameras. I'm waiting for a quote from Valley Communications. Thought we would have it by now, but Jane and I, geez, it's been over a month probably since we met over there with Valley. But that's really the other one that we need to find a cost on. Other things.
Do you need to do that now, or can that be done? We're gonna go to town meeting for a certain amount of money now.
Yep.
Can the cameras and that stuff be done incrementally? Like maybe at the fall town meeting, if we have some free cash, or the next, or does it need to be done?
I
think
we'll
it's gonna
definitely
be
need,
expensive, right?
we'll definitely need the access control stuff, I think.
You need that as of 6:30, right? I mean, they're taking that equipment with them
Yeah,
to the school district.
yeah, we need a solution for the access
That's gotta be done
control.
by 6:30.
Camera networks can be built out over time.
Okay.
The
Access control.
Yeah.
Access, is that going to include door locks? Because you probably want to rekey the building, but it's cheaper if you probably do, like, if you go to a hotel now, they have electronic locks that are controlled through an access system.
Yeah, so we have,
Everybody would just have a swipe card or an ID badge or something hanging around their neck, get them into their individual offices.
Well, that's the way this building is.
Yeah.
Got mag locks.
We have fobs.
yep. Yeah, so that's gonna be, it's gonna
That would have to be put on the new doors.
electronic fob for a number of the exterior doors, not all of them, but a number of them.
I'm thinking even all the interior doors.
That was not included in my initial discussion with Riley.
I don't know what you do here. You lock them when you go home,
Yeah, we use keys here. It's just the outside doors that have.
but you probably would want to put new keyless in the, maybe or maybe not.
Yep, so not necessarily immediate, but I would say we would need to do it maybe within a year. We'd be looking at HVAC upgrades. One of the challenges that we're gonna have is that building has heat, but it doesn't have cooling.
It'd make them work faster.
So that's a concern of mine for staff. But what I was hoping to do is if we're, let's say we move in sometime in the fall, October, we spend that hot season here, and then we move over, so that way a little bit more time to get those installed before we really need them.
To Don's suggestion about, delaying the cameras or whatever, we do have an obligation to present the town meeting with the true cost of what it's going to be to move in there. we might be able to appropriate it later, but from a discussion point of view, we can't come back and say, we told you 200,000, but hey, we need another 150, we lied, so,
Like Wilbraham does?
yeah,
Like the town garage here.
like everything in the world, I guess.
What about the tiles in the hallway? I noticed the other day going to the planning board meeting in there, the tiles in the hallway to the auditorium are coming up too.
Going to the auditorium,
Go in the main entrance and take a left,
okay.
going to,
The ones I were talking about were to the
in the
right.
classroom.
The ones that I was talking about were the portion of the hallway to the right into the two classrooms and the portion of the hallway to the right. I didn't notice those, but I can,
Yeah, there is, I wonder if it'd be worthwhile to take a walk through so more people see things.
yeah.
When you want to do that?
I'd be happy to go now if you wanted.
I can go with you.
Other things, lighting upgrades,
Could that be done?
what's that?
Walk through the school.
Yeah, definitely, we could set up a time.
The two of us would love to go. You wanted to let us know, we'd be happy to go.
Okay.
All right, good.
Lighting upgrades, so we had, for the HVAC and lighting, we had a consultant from Secure Energy. We are waiting on the cost estimates for the HVAC upgrades and the lighting upgrades. Last water test at that building showed higher levels of PFAS in the water, so that's gonna need a water filtration system. So really, those are the other sort of big things that are hanging out there. And then we'd have to manage it like any other building, where we'd have to put a capital plan together, and we would have to address items as they come up. Parking lot's in okay shape, but it's gonna need some help.
I'd spend some money sealing it, to be honest with you. Have somebody come out there and spray a coat of tar over it. Mark could probably have somebody do that.
Prolong the agony.
That'll make that parking lot go another 5 years.
Well, it would, because it'll work for a while, but it's only a Band-Aid.
How much do you think we'll be asking for at this town meeting?
So obviously, we have the moving costs of 80,000. And then I think it's gonna depend on, waiting on the access control amount from Valley. So we still have,
We have 100,000.
we still have 99,400 left of the previously appropriated funds. The only thing that was spent was for the analysis of the septic system. So I don't think it will be a huge amount, but I want to wait to hear back from Valley as to what that is.
The HVAC quote was gonna have all the cooling needed down the road, or just to take care of what's there now? 'Cause like Dick says, I think have the number.
Yeah, they were to do every space,
Okay.
every space.
So that'd be
Well,
heat pumps throughout.
office, yeah, space within the building.
Anything else on them? And the next thing is other capital requests, and I only listed those because I think those are coming up at the town meeting this time. Lawnmower for Parks and Rec and lawnmower for Highway.
The other question that I have that's associated with the move before you move on is, have we had any further discussion on the future of this building?
A little bit. I met with Brendan Greeley, he's a commercial realtor. And to sum up our conversation, this building is not attractive from a commercial reuse standpoint. That was his opinion. He said he said if we were to sell it, we'd probably sell it for $1, because the investment that somebody would have to make in this building to bring it up to the code for commercial use would be significant. It doesn't mean that.
I'll buy it for $1.
Do I hear two?
You might have a chance. So, like I was just about to say, you might have somebody who doesn't care about their return on investment, or who's willing to take a risk with it, who may want to do something with it. But generally, his opinion was, generally speaking, it's not attractive on the commercial market.
Starbucks will be here.
That doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. So that leaves us with continued ownership, not get much out of it when we sell it, but get the liability off of our books.
Right.
or pay to demolish it. And I got a feeling that the land value isn't worth the demolishing price.
No, because you have to take care of all the asbestos.
Oh, yeah, there's some good shit in this building.
Our department could use it for practice.
I'm not gonna suggest anything like that in the store.
You don't think so, huh?
I don't think so. I think the town would want to keep it.
Oh, my God, no.
I think that if you had to go to a vote, I don't think they would vote to tear it down to demolish it.
I do,
You do?
I do, yeah.
So,
Rather than, the $100,000 a year just to have it sit here?
There's a lot of history that people love in the town. That's all I'm saying. I would vote to take it down, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, I think you might have come to that. That's going too far down the road.
Or your pocket.
and I mean, at the end of the day, it'd likely require a town meeting vote and the residents to
Yeah.
decide what they want to do anyways.
what
You
I'm
need
saying.
money to demolish it, you need money to fix it up,
Yeah, you need a vote to sell it.
you need money, I mean, you need a vote to sell it. So, I mean, either way, it's gonna go down.
I'm just worried that's going to be the unanswered question that keeps us getting permission to move. So,
Yeah,
I don't know, well, Don's the politician, he'll have to figure out the spin,
right.
but
The spin is simple. You have a building, as much as we love it, that is not fulfilling the needs of the town now or in the future. We have a building at Thornton Burgess, which we own, have paid for, and can you move the town hall to be more functional, becomes a community thing, community, I gotta clean up my act there, I got community, programs. We get better space for the efficiency, we get a future planning, and no matter what happens with this building, if you say we're gonna renovate this building, right, guess what? You gotta move everybody out, because it's gonna be a 3-year project, and you gotta go someplace anyhow. So let's get over there now and get that done, and then worry about this building later on. We have more parking, more recreational things, more programming, more space,
24/7 pickleball.
24/7 pickleball.
Say that, please don't say that.
Anyhow, that'd be the,
I mean, shouldn't be, the stress point is, we were talking $7 to $9 million
at least.
to upgrade this building to utilize it. And, I mean, to me, at town meeting, people need to know that number.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the demolition.
That's an important number, and you can certainly say that we will make every effort to sell this building to someone who can use it, but at some point, if that doesn't work, we'll probably have to tear it down.
Yeah. And to keep in mind, the $7 to $9 million, the feasibility study that did that, said that even if you did that, you wouldn't have enough room.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But, let's keep it as a cultural center. Sure, we're gonna spend $7 million to upgrade it, to make the building solid enough to use it for a purpose we really don't have.
Yeah.
We got 3 spare rooms at the town, at the TWB that could use for that.
Yeah. And we can create more space at TWB, because right now, we're not being frugal with space, we're being frugal with cost.
Cost, right. All right, anything else on that?
Did that realtor reach out to some of those people that take those, like if you go up to, go to New Bedford, where there's a lot of old mills and stuff, and they're converting those into condominiums?
Yeah, we'll have to do.
I'm sure he was shooting from the hip.
I would think so, because
Definitely.
you don't want it.
Yeah, but, I wouldn't want to raise expectations if I was him.
But it would go. No, get it as cheap as possible.
You'd be
You just want,
happy to enter into a financial arrangement to assist us further.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
That's not 3% of a dollar, or 6% of a dollar.
All right, so just the other capital things that I guess are gonna be on the town meeting, the lawnmower for Parks and Rec, a lawnmower for Highway, the Green Meadows, some flooring, parking lot, which iffy, and switches, the ever famous IT switches everywhere. Minichog is asking for air conditioning, mini splits, 2-way radio repeaters, which the chief of police is asking for, because I guess they can't communicate from one end of the building to the other. and camera system, and a Kubota RTV.
Not happy,
What do they need one of them for?
not happy about that.
Right to campus.
All right, all right.
$43,000.
Ever been to Minnetonka?
Yeah.
It's a nice, or nicer than any golf course
You got the
around.
figures for those?
I do, 43, I'm working off of an old sheet.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 43,000 for the Kubota RTV.
Again,
Pardon me?
mine only cost 25.
They've escalated.
The fancy one.
The camera system, I'll give you totals.
Yeah, yeah.
The camera system upgrade and storage is 370,000. The internal radio, I'm going from bottom up, okay? Internal two-way radio repeater upgrade, and that was the chief's request, is 11,000. And then to add or replace the split AC units is 35,000. Those are both. And then, did you want to go through Hampden's or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Hampden's requirements, and again, this is an old sheet, but if I'm gonna go for Green Meadows flooring replacement, they're looking to do 5 to 6 classrooms, it's 35,000. Green Meadows parking lot repairs and to extend the fire road is another 35,000. And the GMS switch upgrades are gonna be 92,500. So, I guess the question I have, Brian, is, what they're saying is, switch upgrades are 10 to 12 years, end of life. And they're replacing 9 of them at Green Meadows. So if I do the math correctly, 92,500.
10 grand a piece.
Yeah, divide by 9. It's 10,000 apiece. So does that parallel what you've got for DWB?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And the other portion of that would be the wireless
Yeah.
access points.
So that,
Pretty detailed
Now,
breakdown.
the Green Meadows ones, we're totally responsible for.
correct, I gave you the numbers that we are totally responsible for.
And the Minnetonka one, we're 20% responsible.
You're right, I mean, I can give you again, this is,
Yeah, rough, yeah.
would you like that one?
Yeah.
Okay, which way do you want it? From the bottom up again, or?
Yeah.
Okay. The Kubota RTV, our responsibility would be $8,622. For the camera system upgrade, our responsibility would be $72,016. The internal two-way radio repeater is $2,141. And the split AC units is gonna be 6,812. Those are our responsibilities.
Now, is that gonna be a separate item, or is that gonna be included in the assessment?
Which one? All of those?
All of those, the Minnetonka ones?
I believe, and I'm talking out of
Yeah, yeah.
my butt here, okay? I believe they were going to do each one individually.
Like we did before, we had done that in the
Well,
past,
the
right?
assessment letter has it as one number. That's nice. I hope they enjoyed that. But yeah, your draft warrant has separate things, and my understanding is that on the ones for Minnetonka, we were trying to coordinate so that we have the same articles that Wilbraham has.
Wilbraham has them
So,
separate.
if John is successful in killing the Kubota, we don't affect anything else.
Well, I don't,
teasing.
and that's okay, I believe that, Wilbraham Finance, one of the only ones they really did was, they said was okay, was the Kubota RTV, and I'm, again, they have it out for me, but anyways, I think there's some issues that still need to be worked out between Wilbraham Finance, Wilbraham School, and us, of course.
John, Flynn, do you have anything to add?
Well, one thing we talked about before, Don, was, maybe making this a one-time bond type thing. So it can all go into maybe even a 20-year payoff if we're looking at a big number for Thornton Burgess, a big number for the fire station. Maybe we're asking for $10 million to be paid off over 20 years.
Okay.
So you're risking, the strategy there is you're risking the move and you're risking, I don't know what other items you had in there, the senior center, whatever, based on the fire station getting an override.
Well, I think we talked before about that way, everybody's got some skin in the game. I think you have a better chance of passing a omnibus thing than what we saw for the senior center, where not everybody was in that mode to vote for one thing. This goes back to what we did before for the road project. We had a 5-year plan for the roads and everybody had something in it, so it passed.
But the senior center thing is, we could do that easily without any kind of exclusion or anything
We
like
could do everything except for the firehouse without any kind of an override vote.
I would agree. I think,
Otherwise, you run that risk that all of a sudden
everything
you got
goes-
nothing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're gonna lose all your needs for the senior center, you lose the needs for the move, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think that's a good idea
Yeah,
myself.
and, I mean, the move particularly is an operating budget issue. I hate to, bond 20 years for an operating budget. I mean, I appreciate John's political savvy in thinking that if he's got all the seniors voting for it, all the firemen voting for it, and all the townhouse people voting for it, it has a better chance of passing the override. But I don't really want to risk the move or the senior center repairs on that strategy.
Well, I'm not talking the repairs. I'm talking the fact that the plan for the senior center hasn't gone away. There's still a need there. And I think what Brian talked about before for Thornton Burgess is that there's still going to be a greater need for upgrade in the future. We still had a number from Ty and Bond, Brian, of several $1 million for a full build out of it. And that's not going to go away.
But in order to do that, the fire department believes they'll be ready to go in the spring. I don't think the senior center is ready for another proposal, and we're not ready for a major renovation on the Thornton Burgess. So we'd have to delay the firehouse.
Or do the firehouse and then roll it into a bigger bond later, like you've done before, Dick, where you've consolidated.
Rolling the bonds aren't a problem, it's the override vote. We're gonna need an override vote for the firehouse. And so that you lose that constituency with your omnibus override later. So I'm not sure how that would work.
It's a gamble,
Yeah.
the whole, yeah.
The whole thing's a gamble.
Well,
Well, we're not solving that right now, so.
no.
I'm not gonna gamble.
The town of Hampden should buy a Powerball ticket every day. And cross our fingers.
All right, Dave, so the warrant article, so if the fire station goes forward, there'll be a warrant article for debt exclusion or over exclusion?
Debt exclusion, yeah.
So we'll need a ballot question because we have to give the clerk a notice, 35-day notice. And the last thing on the agenda is the Hampden-Wilbraham Regional School District Agreement. We met with the Wilbraham Select Board, and we presented to them the fact that we didn't feel that, they're a little bit angry with me right now, so I'm gonna couch my words a little bit. That we were being fair in asking that the previous documented capital improvements from 2015 on that hadn't been taken care of are not our responsibility. We'd be happy to look at something in the future. If we're to pay for capital improvements, we want equity in the building, some portion of equity, some way to figure out equity in the building, meaning we're paying for the capital improvements and they sell the thing, I mean, who knows, 10 years or 20 years from now, we want a portion of what we paid in.
How dare you present a reasonable argument?
So, it was very disappointing personally for me that the Wilbraham Capital Planning Committee didn't see fit to recommend funding the $700,000 to fix the univents and the air handling systems, which are a big problem with the mold. And also to, one of the things they have over there is they're all cold water pipes. None of them are insulated. So therefore, when the warm weather comes, the cold water creates condensation and you get the mold. So that's where we are. We're meeting again on, I sent them I thought it was a nice letter, but apparently they took offense at it, but my wife takes offense at a lot of things I say too, but we're meeting with them tomorrow at 5:30 to proceed with our discussions.
There's,
We did also suggest that they sell the building to the region for $1, and that'll give us 20% ownership of it. But that didn't go.
They'd want to reciprocate on our buildings too, though, so.
is there any regional agreement proposal that will be at the annual town meeting?
No,
Okay,
no, they put that off to the fall,
that's what I thought, okay.
so we'll see. I mean, the issue is they own the building, they lease it to the region, so.
Don, is there any talk, I mean, they've talked for a long time about having a new middle school.
Yeah, they brought that up, but, that's 10 or 15 years down the road at best.
That's the timeframe they think
Yep.
that.
And I do have to say, and this is kind of off the topic, but the new superintendent, I have to give him credit. He is really trying to address issues, long-term issues that have been going on with not only the setup, but the buildings and that stuff. And he's really working at it and doing his best, and I give him credit for that because it's a tough situation. Anything else? Motion to adjourn, please?
All right.
You want to set up a time for the tour? What time, date?
I'll need to, let's coordinate.
He's got to check with you got to get an okay from,
Gotta get permission.
they still own the building, so.
Oh,
Under an hour by 12 seconds.
Yeah, right.
Custodian might want company, though.
There Thursday's customary.
Can I have a motion, John?
Custodian is there 5 days a week.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.